So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, but whatever. I can just watch Click on my own time.
It's actually everyone in the chat like was like, "Damn, it's actually kind of good."
Except for Brent for some reason, but like no, that movie goes hard. Like it's
Yeah,
it's it's exactly what you think a dumb Adam Sandler comedy is, but also it has a lot of heart to it.
it does. Did you see it? Like, if you look at the Adam Sandler bingo cards, like we've almost filled out the whole card for
Oh,
that movie.
like literally that is I think peak Adam Sandler comedy right there.
The only
That
thing
is
that
like
wasn't there was Sandler has a disability, which we could have done because he was obese at one point.
yeah, that's up to discretion. I feel like the disability
Kevin
thing.
James, talking animal, weak knees, stuck taking care of kid. Obviously not, because that's the whole point of the movie. He didn't do anything with his kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jennifer Aniston. Oh, and dressed as baby. That wasn't good either.
Okay, so recording is live right now. We're not live. It's just a screen recording. I'm gonna try something a little bit different because the last few times we did this, I attempted just recording the audio, but for video stuff, I'm gonna be recording my perspective as the DM, and for um what's it called play viewers' sake, I'm just going to black out where the fog of war is, and
Okay.
we'll see if that turns out better or worse. Because on the recordings beforehand, I did this. It's just like, hey, he's standing about here, it's like, and then there's no spatial awareness whatsoever. All right, so are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so when last we met our heroes, as a side, you might have to re-upload your thing because I did make this from scratch.
Oh, I'll just use whatever icon it gives me, honestly.
Okay. When,
Ooh, this looks cool.
when last we left our heroes, the Midnight Adventure and Vulpe were, uh, sorry, hold on, I just dropped something. were, quickly dashing away on a rowboat, away from the infamous Barrett's privateers because Vulpe had used a dimensional door spell to cast a very powerful magic item into the ethereal plane. And once they were safely away, Volpe took it onto him to guide Midnight back to his hometown of the Costner Atoll. And there they can have a quick rest and basically choose their next plan of action. And Volpe can catch up with his mother, his sister, and any other friends that he happens to see on the atoll itself. So Ian, go ahead and like make your drag and drop your token here.
I don't even know where it's at. Here, hold up.
Okay.
Doo-doo-doo.
You know, when I remade the brother, when I remade, not remade, when I made this particular campaign in Roll20, I made it a point to delete the Flayer C just because I didn't want like Roll20 to say, oh, you have too many campaigns, so you can't make any more. And then I regretted it immediately because I was like, wait a minute, I could just copy paste this over and redo everything, so I wouldn't have to be making it all from scratch. All right, so basically you get to the edge of the dock here, and the place looks pretty much the same as when you last saw it, Volpe. You can see, if you want to scroll out here, you can see the Straight Razor Cabaret on this side, where your mother hosts a lot of performances. And then just past it, you can see the Straight Razor ship, which is the namesake of the cabaret and where most of the business happens. Just behind it, over here, you see the lighthouse that is controlled by Dace Hardridge, the owner of the Costner Atoll and former captain of the Straight Razor. And you can actually see him just up there at the top of the tower, just writing down notes and inspecting all of the ships that are parked here. This section here just kind of expands out into an extended dock where ships can kind of come, park, drop off their sailors, and leave. And also trade goods between the ships, so that there's an not landlocked port that they have to trade all of their stuff in. And then just across from you at the dock here, you can actually see Kodiak's shop, where he's just out in the open right now doing business as usual. And all around you there are dock workers that are kind of going back and forth, each doing their thing. Speaking of which, one dock worker whom you don't recognize stops you and just says, name and ship.
Uh, My name is Vulpe, and this is my ship. And I'll just gesture towards the raggedy old, falling apart mini sail or fucking rowboat, and the Vulpe, and it's just like kind of awkward and be like, yeah,
Okay, do you have a name for it?
shit. I'll just lean to Midnight, and I'll be like, do we have a name for this?
And he just kind of panics and just looks down at his arm. The Humagander.
Yumagander.
Okay, and how is that spelled?
Uh, this is how Vulpe thinks Yumagander is spelled.
Okay.
U-M-A-N. Wait, nope. M-A-G-A-N-D-E-R.
D-E-R. And then, as the guy is writing it down, Midnight just kind of like holds his arm over to show you that is nowhere near how it's spelled. And then, hang on. Just for posterity, if I can find his character block. It's spelled Y-U-M-A-G-A-N-D-R.
Okay. So I was like, didn't have the Y at the beginning, and there's no E in between the D and R. It's close.
Okay, and reason for visiting the port, the dock worker says.
I am a family with, well, I know like everybody here, at least I used to. Loretta, Dace, fucking, shit, what was the guy's name? Draven, and
doing D&D thing.
I know like Misty
Doing
and
D&D
shit, you
thing.
know? The cabaret girls and stuff.
Oh, you're Loretta's son, and he just kind of like looks at you, and he's like, I really didn't expect you to look, well, like that, and he just kind of gestures to all of you.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I'm a bit of a devil. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
And he just kind of says, all right, how long will you be staying? And he goes to write down more notes.
A couple days, probably.
Okay, yeah. Well, since you lived here before, you basically know where everything is. Well, would you like a pamphlet for the new performance? He kind of looks over at Midnight, and Midnight just kind of like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. And then he hands him a little pamphlet. All right, and then the dock worker goes back to his thing, and then then you and Midnight can kind of continue walking, and Midnight just kind of looks over. So how long did you say you were away from this place?
Like a year this time?
This time, what happened before?
Oh, I went to like fucking boarding school for like, I don't know, like 7 years. And I was gone the whole time, so. But I came back for like a couple months, and then I left again.
Oh, that's interesting. And Midnight just kind of looks up at the lighthouse area and looks out towards the docks. You think I'd get in trouble if I just kind of did some investigating here?
I mean, yeah, just don't pickpocket anybody. Not that I've ever seen you do that, but you seem capable to do that. Just don't do that, though.
Okay. Well, you go touch base with your mother. I'm gonna see if I can't secure us a ride out of here back to the mainland.
Yeah, that sounds great.
And then then you kind of just look away for 1 second, and then you look back, and Midnight is gone, just evaporated out of the air. And he disappeared in broad daylight, and you have no idea how he did that.
Shit. Okay.
All right, so
Well,
yeah. So yeah, now that Midnight's gone, you basically have carte blanche to go wherever.
Carte blanche.
Yeah.
I'll go reunite with Kodiak.
All right. Yeah.
He was the dwarven fellow, right?
Yeah, the dwarven shopkeeper. That's just on this side in this little like an extended dock area with like a tent of all sorts of items that he's traded amongst the traveling sailors.
I'll just stroll on over. I'm assuming this is the door because it has an opening.
Well, it's actually just it's actually an open floor plan here. So the
oh shit.
the the main bulk of Kodiak's inventory is in this tent right here, and the rest of this is just extended dock wood planks. And as you sort of walk up, Kodiak just kind of looks over and he just kind of gives you a squint, and then he just kind of like tumbles, not tumbles, he just kind of like strides over, and as a dwarf, he's very short, and he comes up to about your waist, and then he just kind of like steps onto the dock, like very like curiously and questioning you, is like, what the fuck happened to you?
Oh my god, dude. Like, everything, I guess. I don't know.
Well, I
I'm
mean,
back, though.
you got tall, and it looks like you haven't showered in like 4 days.
Has it been 4 days? I don't even
I'm
know.
I'm just guesstimating here. Anyway, come on in, and then he just kind of walks over to like a table with some assorted food on it, and he tosses you an apple. So tell me what happened here. What brings you back?
Well, I'm with a friend here. I don't know where he's at. He's just kind of scouting out the area, trying to get us a ride. So unfortunately, I'm not staying for very long. But I thought I'd stop by and see what you got for sale, kind of, and also just kind of reconnect with an old pal, you know? But at the same time, I guess, do you want to know something fucking crazy?
Crazy how? And he just like crunches down on an apple.
Fucking like, isn't there like some fucking weird like wives' tales going on about like the Flair Sea and like all that shit?
Fuck,
You know what I mean?
you could fill 30 encyclopedias with all the crazy shit sailors talking about. Just the other day, I heard someone talking about seeing this weird siren whale type thing just floating like a barge on the ocean. You could see dancing nymphs just crawling on her back. And of course, there's all the news about those weird towers that keep vanishing and showing up in random-ass places. Although, now that I mention it, someone did say a couple days ago no, maybe it was a week ago, they all seem to like locked into place, like they haven't disappeared like they usually do.
All of them?
That's what I'm hearing. It's like usually they disappear after like an hour or so, but now they're just kind of stuck in locked locations.
Whoa. I think I may have something to do with that.
And he just kind of like takes another bite of the apple. Go on.
See, me and my buddy and I, we actually got hired to do this job, right? Where it was an infiltration job, okay? The usual kind of. I mean, not really. But anyway, we were hired by this, I don't know, this rich dude, and like we joined up with a couple of pirates and such, and we went inside one of these towers, right?
And he's just kind of like squinting at you, like harder. He's like really trying to see if you're trying to bullshit him.
I can roll fucking persuasion. I guess
it's you're telling the truth, so
it's the truth.
You don't have to roll.
Yeah, but I mean, it was kind of crazy. There was like fucking ghosts and shit, and like statues that moved and fucking spinning, or like I don't know, man. It was crazy.
Okay.
Fucking, I kind of got like money though. We got like bank,
well,
but
that's
long
good,
story
at least.
short. Yeah, long story short, we're not really on the best of terms with said pirate gang or this rich guy either. We kind of left in a hurry after the treasure that they were looking for turned out to be some super dangerous artifact, which we may have stolen. It's not on us now. But yeah, so I don't know. We don't want to stay here too long because.
All right. Well, I notice you're kind of hesitant to say the guy's name. You can trust old Kodiak. I don't have loose lips, okay?
Can I trust old Kodiak? I'm gonna roll an insight check.
Okay.
Fuck. Insight.
Oh, you're rolling with physical dice, okay.
It's a 9.
9. Given your sordid history, you know that this guy is very good at keeping secrets.
Right.
Especially regarding your mother.
Oh, yeah. Well, his name was fucking Barrett, right?
What?
Yeah, like...
And he
Yeah.
spits out like a hunk of like apple and seeds. You did what now?
We may have robbed him of a magical artifact.
And he just fucking widens his eyes and he fucking starts laughing. And he walks back over to his like table here to like look through a few books and stuff. Oh my god, I just the other day I was talking with your mother and she was being a bit worried about you going off into the sea to work because, you know, seas are dangerous, and he chucks a book across the thing. And I assured her that you, with all your university knowledge at the Mage College or wherever the fuck you went, was more than capable of just not getting into trouble. And you go and piss off one of the wealthiest men on the continent, and that is honestly impressive.
What can I say? Some would say I have a high charisma stat, but a low intelligence stat,
Oh my goodness.
so to speak.
Oh my god, Vulpe. Alright, well, how on the lam are you? Like, do they know where you're going? Do they know where you live?
They don't at all. I'm not too sure they even know. I mean, surely they know who we are.
I mean,
But
if you signed on to work for their crew, you had to have written your name down.
oh, for sure. But I don't really have a fucking, I don't know, what's the fucking, like, fantasy, or not fantasy, but like Middle Ages way to say your last name. A surname.
A surname.
There you go. I don't have a surname, so hey, who knows? There could be plenty of fucking neon yellow fucking tieflings named Vulpe, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Kind of. Oh god. Well, yeah, we don't. The reason we're not going to be here for a long time, obviously, we don't want to attract them here, endanger anybody. So we're just here, get supplies, and
Okay.
bounce. So.
Well, just make sure you leave quickly, because, well, Barrett has a lot of ships on the sea.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh boy.
Alright, and then he kind of just, like, starts reorganizing his desk, and he opens up a pamphlet. So, do you need any supplies right now, or are you just kind of stopping by to say hello?
What do you got, bro?
Well, the usual, some rations, a couple of new shiny weapons, got some enchanted gear, too. Oh, and, I got a few extra bank from the, Nifahilians back home, so if you need something to sell, I can buy those off of you as well.
Buy what again?
Basically anything you want to like sell to him. You don't have to.
Gotcha.
You don't have to only buy things from him. He is also a tradesman.
I see. Um, what kind of enchanted gear are we talking?
Well, he kind of like goes over to his like table of weapons and stuff right here, and he holds up a few swords that just have the basic like +1 enchantment to do more damage. And he also holds up a few like more niche enchanted items. Like he has an assortment of rings as well. And then he also holds up an iron rod. Catch! And roll a dexterity to catch it.
Oh no. Oh no. 7.
7. Okay, you catch it and it locks in place in your hand. You can like freely move your hand away from it, but when you move your hand away, it's now locked in space right there. Immovable rod, just got a whole shipment of them in. A lot of people use them for construction on the mainland.
Damn.
Also could be good for a trap or two. Imagine just kind of sailing away on a ship, and they run into that, not knowing it's there. Alright, and then he kind of walks. And then he kind of walks over and like touches a rune on it, and it kind of falls down into place in his hand. And of course, the usual magic rings. I've got some armor here and some enchanted robes as well. Kind of just depends on what you're looking for and what you think you might need right away.
Well, first I will say I'm interested in the rod. So, what would you ask for that?
Well, and he just kind of like feels the weight in its hand. For you, probably 50 gold.
I'll take it.
All right, and he hands you the immovable rod. I'm not sure if it's an actual item in.
It should be.
Yeah.
I'll add it. Immovable rod. Hey, there it is. Sweet. And then I'll take a look at some of those robes, the enchanted robes.
All right, so he has 3 robes in stock right now. One of which is a blue robe, and he tells you if you wear this, you can breathe underwater for probably like 10 minutes at a time. And then you also have an advantage in swimming. Kind of turns you into a mermaid.
Damn. That's cool.
And he also has a green robe, and it's like that one gives you a resistance to exhaustion, so you can work longer and harder, but you won't feel too tired afterwards as long as you're wearing it. And the last one is a red robe that says that one gives you fire resistance.
Let's see. Well, I'm interested in the blue robes.
Alright. The blue robe will set you back 150 gold.
I'll take that as well.
Alright, go ahead and just add a custom item saying blue robe of water breathing. Actually, blue robe of water affinity is what I have here in my notes.
Okay. Gotcha. And then lastly, I'll just take a look at the rings.
Okay, currently he has 5 rings in stock, all silver. One of which he explains, this one here, it'll make it so you have more luck when fishing. I don't really know how it works. I wasn't the one that enchanted it. But basically, you use this while you're fishing, you're guaranteed to get something big.
Dang.
And this one right here just allows you to be a little bit faster. Put some pep in your step. Then the next one here, this one, another fire resistance ring. This one, lightning resistance. And the last, did I say, how many rings did I say? I lost count.
There's 5, so yeah, it would be one more, I think.
And this last one here, and he kind of just looks closely at it. This one's another water-breathing one.
Oh. Well, I'll take the water-breathing ring for my pal, and then the haste ring, like the fast quickness ring.
Okay. Go ahead and put in your inventory. Ring of haste, like you said, and then ring of water breathing. And there'll be actual items for these later on. I just haven't gone around to. They're literally just on a list here.
Gotcha.
Anything else you happen to be interested in?
I'll take some rations.
All right, and he kind of just like goes over to pack up some food here. About how much were you looking for?
Did you say a week's worth?
Yeah, I can do that. And the rings are gonna cost you 25 gold each. And the rations are gonna be 30 copper each.
So 30 copper. I'll just do 1 gold for all of them. I think that would be enough.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay.
Even if you shortchange Kodiak, he knows you're good for it later, so. Just as long as you get in the ballpark.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Rations day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice. Okay. Well, it was good seeing you, Kodiak. And I may stop by before I leave again, but I think for now I am gonna head over to the cabaret. So.
Sounds good. You stay out of trouble now.
I'll try.
Alright, and as you go... Alright, so as you kind of just walk back onto the dock, you noticed Pearl just kind of cleaning up a table here. Off in the corner here, you notice Draven just kind of standing there looking menacing as well. And then you also see Misty. No, wait, you don't know who that is. You see a random woman standing here also cleaning up a table.
So Pearl's my friend one, right?
That's
I
what
can't
that's what you have in
remember
your
which ones
notes.
I named which.
And
Okay.
and then she's standing right here.
I'm just gonna avoid Draven for now and walk up to Pearl.
Right.
And I'll just... I don't even know. I want to pull a prank on her or something. Spells. Oh, I'll just use Thaumaturgy to, like... cause tremors in the ground for 1 minute. No.
This entire dock is made of wood, by the way.
Wait, is there a door on it or no?
No, it's the same open floor plan as the place here. It's an outdoor stage.
Well, I'll just be fancy. I'll cast dancing lights and I'll have them just like follow me, and then I'll just walk in and be like, I'll point at her and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
And then like as soon like after seeing you and the dancing lights, she just goes like, "Oh my god, oh my goodness!" I didn't do a female voice. Vulpe,
That's
is
pretty
that?
good.
Vulpe, is that you? Come here, come here. Or, oh, it's good. So nice to see you. And she kind of just brings you in abruptly for like a nice hug. And then the random woman over here just kind of looks over and is just like a little curious, but not really wanting to go forward yet. Oh my god, your horns are getting long. And she just kind of like rubs some dirt off of it. Oh, what are you doing back here?
I got a buddy with me. We're in a bit of a pickle. We're just stopping here for supplies, and I thought I'd check in with me mother before I head out. Just in case of... Actually, I'm not gonna say anything after that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Was it just a bad job or whatever?
Oh yeah, nothing to worry about. But I just wanted to check in since it's been a year now.
Of course, of course. Your mother's on the ship over there, just behind the stage here. She's just kind of relaxing, getting ready for a performance here in a few days. Another one of her big grand performances. She has a lot of new hired bards that are gonna kind of be coming in and doing other performances as well.
I see.
But it's so good to see you again. And then she just kind of looks over. Misty, come here. I'd like you to meet someone. And then the human woman just kind of walks over, and she said, and she kind of introduces, hi, I'm Misty. And it's like, Misty, this is Vulpe, this is Loretta's boy. And she goes, oh, I've heard so much about you.
I was like, oh, we got new blood in the cabaret. Let's go.
And then Pearl just kind of says, oh yeah, we had a recent new wave of hires here. And she kind of like gestures around to all the other dock workers. Something happened the other day that just had a lot of people be very spooked. We're not quite sure what, but a lot of them just said they didn't want to work out in the open sea anymore. But luckily we managed... Sorry, I dropped... Luckily we managed to get a nice workforce here and now. And of course she kind of looks over at Draven, who's kind of... as a Goliath, he's the biggest person on the dock right now, and he's just kind of standing there, not flexing, but you can tell he's not making himself look weak.
Yeah, Vulpe is slightly intimidated by this man.
And then you can tell that he recognizes Vulpe as well, because he's just kind of like, he's just kind of looking at him, but every once in a while his gaze shifts to the other dock workers and any random person that happens to be walking by.
So has business been good? Has business been good?
Pearl just says, well, aside from losing most of the workforce, yes, business has been good. Also, this is a question for you, Ian. Is it Revere or Revere is your Vulpe's sister's name?
Just Revere.
Okay. Also, Revere has started like taking interest in books. She's actually reading on her own for her age, which is impressive for
Jesus.
her age.
I was gonna say she's like 3 or something.
I know, right? Uh, yeah, Loretta is actually taking to homeschooling her very well. She spends a lot of time during the day outside of her performances just tutoring her in strange books. I can't really read any of it in there, but it all seems quite stimulating for a young little girl.
Has she shown any natural affinity to anything that I'm capable of? And I'm gonna snap my fingers and the candles will flicker a bit, if there are any.
Yeah, there's a few candles that just kind of like, tss, tss, and they just kind of ignite for a second and then go out again. And Misty just kind of like is a little intimidated by that, so she just kind of takes a step back here. And then Pearl just goes, Pearl, as if this is just like every other day for her, just kind of goes like, oh no, nothing yet. She's hasn't really shown any much potential for magic, but I'm sure your mother's just, well, with how you turned out, probably gonna figure something out.
Alright. I'm just wondering, because I still don't even know how I'm capable of this, and if Mother isn't. So, it must not be the devil's blood. It must be something else. I don't know.
And Pearl just kind of shrugs. You can tell that she's not really phased by you saying devil's blood, but Misty is very much like, what?
I'll be like, oh, it's just the horns. It's not actual, like, I'm a demon. It's just like, yeah.
And she just
Yeah.
kind of like just nods her head. It's like, okay. And just you can tell she's being very awkward around you.
And I'll just whisper over to Pearl and be like, so what's the deal with this new one? You know, like, is she like, what's going on?
Oh, she's from the mainland. Apparently from a small village out in the middle of the land of kings. I'd never really heard of it before, but I think it's something called Cervidae. I think it's a
Oh shit.
it's a quaint little village. Although she just didn't want to stay in that little town all her life, so she did some traveling around a bit.
Gotcha. I see. Would I recognize the name Cervidae hearing it from Midnight at all?
That is entirely dependent on whether or not Midnight has talked about Cervidae in Vulpe's presence. And
I
since
feel like he has, but I would only recognize the name because I don't know. I never asked him about it or
Tell you what,
know
I'll give
anything.
you a history check to see if at some point where we can retcon him mentioning it.
This is 7. Wait, actually, I think I'm proficient in history. I am. That's a 12.
12. Okay, so yeah, you do
Shit.
recognize the name from a passing comment from Midnight, but he hasn't
Yeah.
gone too far into details with it. You just know that something happened that was a little traumatizing for Midnight.
I see. Well, I won't mention anything there then. I didn't know. Just like, oh, I see, I see. Well, has she not causing any trouble around here?
Oh no, she's actually quite a very like competent worker. She picked up things and how we run everything very well and very quickly.
Well, that's good. Well, shall I reconvene with me mother?
Oh, of course, yeah. Don't let me keep you here. She probably would look forward to seeing you. It's really good to see you again, Volpe. And she just kind of like touches your arm and pats you on the shoulder, and then she kind of like leans down and goes back to like her workings. And then
Um,
Misty is just kind of standing there awkwardly, and she just slowly goes back to setting a table.
How the fuck? Misty. I just like fucking thaumaturgy and like do like a fucking cricket sounds like behind the corner behind her.
All right, and then she just at the sound of the cricket noise, she just kind of like peeks up her head and just kind of like looks around in confusion. What was that? And then she just.
Uh,
Do you want to do
I'll
anything
just-
else while she's distracted,
no.
or?
I'll just smirk and walk past.
You can tell that Pearl is also smirking as Misty is now kind of investigating. I haven't heard a cricket in years. Alright. So next, what are you up to next?
I guess I'll probably find my mom? Is she on the ship or is she in the tent area?
Okay, so Pearl mentioned that she was on the ship, and there's basically three ways, well, the
Okay.
illusion of three ways you can get it. You can either hop onto the stage right here, which is about a 5-foot elevation here, so it's not going to take much to just climb over the stage, or you can kind of take the long way around and go over to one of these docks on this side to just get basically to the dock leading to the gangplank of the Straight Razor.
I'll go through the stage so I don't have to go past the Goliath man.
Alright, and the Goliath just, he watches you hop over the stage, and he's just like, and he kind of looks back out. And going through the stage, you actually notice that it's filled with like boxes and stuff, and a lot of like carpentry workers just sawing and getting ready for a performance. A few of them like tip their hat to you, but it's not really any faces you recognize at this point. They seem like hirees to do some extra maintenance on the docks and stage and whatnot.
Cool.
And then
Well,
you can basically just go straight through onto the outside of the tent here, and we're going to shift perspectives real quick.
Inside the ship. Ooh.
Okay.
Wait, the ship is the place where everything goes down, right? That's so cool.
Yeah, so from your memory, the Straight Razor, after your mother gave birth to you, was basically acting as your house. Through means that are only disclosed to you, Loretta was able to strike a deal with Dace. Actually, was it Dace or Darce? I feel like I misspelled that.
I think it is Dace.
Okay, with Dace, and he allowed her to just basically live on the ship, which is kind of functioning dualistically as the cabaret and a sort of penny house, where traveling sailors and passengers can just kind of stop here and rest for a bit, as well as get, you know, like a pretty decent meal outside of Kodiak's cooking at the general store. Alright, so yeah, you can basically just walk on there. There's a few, actually there should be a few more. There's a few dock workers just also cleaning up things. You got here you got here in the morning, so there's not a whole lot of activity outside of the ships coming into port and out of port. So no one's really like come to the far side of the atoll to like have a meal or anything. And the dock workers are just kind of keeping everything tidy for when that eventually happens.
This place is actually really cool. A question for just Zen, but like, do you like pick every single cube to like design? Like, if I want the floor, do you have to like drag and drop like all of the wood tiles?
So you can actually resize the tiles to be whatever size you want.
Okay.
The only downside is that there's some like bit crushing and warping that can happen. But most of the time it is me just sort of picking, placing, and reshaping the tiles to fit the scale that I want to operate on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Alright, so you're on the top deck right now. This section here is actually a ladder that goes down below deck where storage and other utilities are. This is kind of like a commissary area where dock workers, performers, and stuff can like sit down, have a meal, and also, you know, passengers as well. Over here is kind of like the outdoor kitchen area where people can just kind of walk up, grab some food, toss them some coins, and then walk back down. And then your mother's room is actually right here, in that doorway there.
So this ship doesn't ever leave port, does it?
This ship has not been out to sea since you were born. Basically, you have never seen it actually go out to sea.
Cool. Some Sea of Thieves shit. It's awesome.
You can tell I have a lot of inspiration.
I'm gonna, I guess, just I'm just gonna look around and like, are there any like people like that are actually like paying customers and not eating?
Not as of yet. It's basically just
Okay,
the deck workers, and that's about it. There are a few like cats running around as well. This is a pretty There's some like sitting on barrels, or some just kind of like walking around. You actually see one walking by with a dead rat in its mouth.
Awesome. I love
I would
cats.
have placed them here visually, but that would have also cluttered the map a lot.
Yeah. Can I pet a cat? I have to pet a cat.
Alright, so they're actually pretty tame, so you kind of just walk over to one and just like, it just starts making a deep purring noise as it just kind of like pushes its hand into your, pushing its head into your hand to kind of like get the maximum amount of pets. And then it just kind of rolls over onto its belly, and you can like feel its soft, fluffy belly as well. And then
I love cats. Vulpe says this out loud.
one of the dock workers just kind of looks at you and says, "Me too, mate," and then he goes back to his work. And then, on cue, the cat just kind of decides, no, I don't like this anymore, and it scratches you slightly and then just trots off.
Oh, take 1 point of slashing damage.
Alright. So, yeah, you have the option of just going straight to your mother's room, or you can go below deck and explore things as well. Or
You designed the space, so I might as well drop down deck and see what's going on.
You drop down below deck, and there's a few more dock workers just sitting in the corner. One of them says, here for a penny up?
No, I'm just taking a look around. Used to live here. Do I know these people?
You do not recognize these people.
Oh, I would be like, I'm Loretta's son. I'm just back home for a little bit, kind of checking out the place. I won't disturb anything.
And then this guy over here just kind of like nods, is like, yeah, okay. And then the other guy says, not sure if you remember, this bathroom's over here if you need to wash up or anything.
Actually, I do. I'm gonna take a shower.
Okay, so you get into the bathroom area, and for the most part, it looks basically the same as when you like last were here. There's a locked chest to put all of your items, so when you actually get naked and do your business, no one can come in and steal it. There's a thing of dirty towels that you can just put there when you're done with them. There's a basin with a cracked mirror on it. A thing of like soap salts that you can just kind of dip your hand into and like rub into your thing to wash your hands. There's the shitter right here.
Nice.
Over here is another thing of like toiletries in case you need like shampoos or other like sort of bath salts type of thing. And then over here there's the large scrub tub where you can just go in and wash up.
Let's go.
Alright, so
I'll just take a bath, bro. Let's get it.
Alright, so gonna go ahead and disrobe and stuff like that, and you just put your stuff in the locked chest, and you go into the tub, and you see there's a few runes carved into the side of the wooden tub.
Oh shit.
So, one of which is the sign for water, the other which is the sign for fire.
See. So, like, it's like you can heat up the water. I'll heat it up a little bit. I'll, like, touch the fire.
The tub is currently empty, by the way, I didn't mention that.
I'll hit the water one. I'll touch it.
Alright, so you touch it, and the rune just glows a little bit, and just miraculously, as if filling up from an unseen faucet, the water level in the thing just sort of like just raises. And then you dip your hand in. It's not like ice cold, but it's definitely not lukewarm.
I will touch the fire room.
Alright, you touch the fire room, and the water starts like steaming up a little bit and starts getting like bubbly a little bit, and it's about now, I would say, as warm as a hot spring.
We'll do it. We'll take it, bro.
Alright. Any other stuff you want to use aside from just there's a lump of soap just sitting on the side, as well as a few like clean wash rags. You want to grab anything from the shelf?
Dude, what is medieval conditioner?
What is medieval conditioner? Okay. So you get yourself some like sweet smelling oils off of the shelf and a little tincture, and you just use that to just kind of like brush in your hair and stuff like that, and you scrub yourself down with the soap. The soap in there has no real smell, but the oil has a faint lavender smell that is quite relaxing and pleasant.
I'm just gonna shine my horns as well.
Alright, you find like a little wax puck, and you're just kind of like taking it and just like polishing your horns up.
Yeah, baby. looking fresh.
Okay, 1 second. Let me mark something down in my notes, ominously.
Oh no!
Alright, so all in all, you took like a nice relaxing, we'll say, 20-minute bath, and then you're able to just like dry yourself off. Any other like finishing touches you want to do while you're in the bathroom?
God. I don't think. Wait. Wait a second. No, I don't have it. I was gonna clean my clothes, but I have no way of drying them magically. So I'll just put them on. I'm chilling.
Alright, you don't have prestidigitation, do you?
I don't.
Okay. So you managed to get your clothes back on after that, and you just can you. All right. Then yeah, once you get back on, go ahead and give yourself a point of inspiration because you are clean.
Whoa! Inspiration just is like a D4, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Cool. Awesome.
All right, and you can use that basically up until you take a long rest.
Hog. I'm gonna like examine the mirror. Why is it Is it just old?
It's an old mirror. It's like you can tell. Originally, this was a very nicely polished brass vanity type basin, but over the years, people have not really like not not like cleaning it or anything, but like it's just not really well taken care of. It has a lot of like tarnish around it. And then the mirror itself is just kind of speckled with like flaking silver and stuff like that. The crack itself just kind of doesn't really seem like it was due to anyone hitting the mirror at all. It just looks like through the temperature, it just sort of cracked the mirror over time. But as you sort of peer closer into the mirror, go ahead and roll a wisdom save.
Boy. A natural 1.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so as you're sort of peering in close to the mirror, you can swear that there is something standing behind you. And I'm going to go ahead and privately send you a thing so you have an idea of what you're looking at, but I'm not going to tell you what it is yet.
Oh boy.
Skip
that.
Alright, so kind of vaguely, ethereally, there is something standing behind you in the corner there, and you can see it very vividly. What do you do?
Shit. I'm just gonna like turn around and put my hands up and like ready a lightning bolt. Actually, that's a terrible idea. I'm gonna. I'll just. Shit. I'll shit my pants.
It hasn't. Yeah, you haven't.
Firebolt.
Yeah, you haven't reacted yet, and it has not moved. You're just kind of looking at it.
Is it actually? It's there behind me?
You can see it in the mirror.
Oh, but like if I turn around, it's not there.
Have you turned around yet?
Yes, I'll turn around.
Okay, you turn around, getting ready to conjure up a firebolt, and then it's no longer there. The room is empty. Do you look back into the mirror?
I'll look back into the mirror.
All right, you look back into the mirror, and now really close to you, right behind you, it appears to be like leaning down next to you, and you can almost faintly hear like a whispering just earing its way into your brain.
Jesus.
What
This may be a waste of like my action, but I'm gonna use mending on the mirror and try and fix the mirror.
Okay. So go ahead, you touch the mirror, and the mirror is now spotless and pristine, and the creature is gone.
Oh shit, I'm so smart. Oh my god. Is it actually behind me now?
It's not behind you.
What the fuck?
Alright, so you're kind of looking around, you see the thing is no longer there, you look in the mirror, it's gone, and then you just kind of notice on the side of you that it was whispering. There's, similarly to what was on your arm, a small amount of black goo.
Oh my god. And my arm was only black in the dream world.
Alright, do you go ahead and touch the goo on your cheek?
Yeah?
Alright, you gotta touch it. You gotta touch it, and like you look at your hand, there's nothing on your hand.
Is it still on my face though?
And then when you look up from your hand, it's no longer on your cheek.
I'm just gonna strip and look all over my body and see if I have it anywhere.
All right, so you strip down naked again, just kind of like looking around at your physique. You don't really see anything on your body other than like fresh bruises from fighting the creatures in the place. You're not
Mm-hmm.
noticing any like open wounds or anything. All of it's like relatively healed. Um, and yeah, you're not noticing any more black goo.
Wow, what the fuck? Alright. I'm just gonna get dressed and leave. Holy shit.
All right, so you go ahead and leave out the door here, and like one of the guy who just like pointed out to the bathroom right here is just he's reading a book and he looks up to you. He's like, "You look nice."
Thanks, bro. Sheesh. I'm just gonna like hurry up back on the deck.
Okay. You're still able to move the token, yeah?
Oh, sorry. Boop.
Okay. All right, so back on the deck. Nothing's really changed since you were since you went down to take your bath. What do you want to do now?
I'll head to mommy's room.
All right, so you go into mommy's room, and then you kind of walk in through the door. Your mother is kind of like looking in the mirror, just kind of like adjusting her makeup. She's not wearing performer's makeup. She's just like trying to tidy herself up, make herself look nice.
I'll just walk in and say, surprise!
And then the second you walk in, she has like a nice warm smile for you. Vulpe, hello! And she just kind of walks over and like hugs you. Oh, it's been so long. How are you doing, dear?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Mighty fine. I do have some issues, slightly. But I'll get to that.
Oh,
But I'm personally, or physically, I'm chill. Actually, I think I'm good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm here. Come sit down. And she kind of like very firmly ushers you over to the table. Not even like not table, but chair right here. She didn't even offer you a seat. She just kind of like guided you over to the table. What happened, dear? What's wrong? And she goes to start making tea.
The mirror in the bathroom in the ship. Do you know anything about that?
The old mirror basin. What specifically happened?
Well, I looked in the mirror and this creature, like this really grotesque horned creature with like flowing shadow cloak, like it appeared behind me in the mirror, but it wasn't there. Actually, I don't know if I'm hallucinating or what's going on. It just kind of freaked me the fuck out, and I'm a bit shaken up.
Alright, and you can tell based on Loretta's expression, she is she doesn't really know what you're talking about. You saw it in the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't actually. I turned around and it wasn't there, but when I turned back, it was closer. So, I don't know.
Well, I can take a look at the mirror, but so far no one else that's used it has reported anything like that.
Well, I fixed the mirror, and it disappeared. So, it's no longer cracked. So.
Oh, that was nice of you. That was nice of you, dear.
I'm not sure if you'll find anything.
Well, I can go take a look, I suppose, and then she just kind of like ushers herself out. Revere is in the cradle right now. If you want to go say hi to her, and then she leaves.
I'm gonna go say hi to my sister.
All right, and then before you do that, you kind of just look around. You're noticing the very tall like curtains set up in the middle of the room that kind of divide the common area of your mother's bedroom into like her actual place where she sleeps. You notice the big chest where she keeps all of the earnings from the cabaret show, the small chest where she keeps like trinkets and keepsakes from most of her life. You notice right here in front of you, there's a very similarly molded mirror to the one in the bathroom, although this one is much nicer and made of a very nicely patinaed silver. The mirror is not cracked on this one. And then over here, obviously the tea set, where she has a cup of tea brewing for you. It's not quite ready yet. And then over here, just 2 wardrobes that you surmise are probably still full of clothes and performance stuff that she uses. And then on the ground here is just various carpets from various furred animals, and a few trade hand woven carpets from around the world, just to kind of keep this place a little bit warm and homely. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go past the curtain here?
Shh, I'm gonna look in the mirror first.
All right. You look in the mirror. You're kind of looking at yourself. You're not seeing any more black goo on your face or around your neck or on your hands or anything, and you're not seeing any more creatures. But there is that faint whisper at the back of your mind, and if you try to focus on it, you could probably hear it a little clearer.
I will focus. I'll try to focus on it.
Alright, go ahead and just give me a straight wisdom roll.
Oh man. Okay. No, like, okay, plus wisdom? Or wait, I don't have any plus wisdom. 18.
18, you say. Alright.
Jeez.
Alright, so as you sort of just kind of like tune your inner ear to it and try to train your third eye onto the whispering at the back of your mind, and it slowly starts to focus. Where did you put him?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. No. If I back away from the mirror, do I hear the whispers still?
You kind of just like take a step back from the mirror, and the whispering is just kind of like you're no longer focusing on it, so it just kind of like slowly dissolves back into white noise.
I'm gonna go back to the mirror and look at myself in the eyes.
All right. So you kind of look at yourself in the eyes and everything, and what color are Vulpe's eyes?
He has white pupils, but the whites of his eyes are black.
Okay. So you kind of look into your eyes. The black irises of, sorry, the whites of his eyes are black.
It's just inverted. Like
Okay.
he's got white eyes, but the white part is black.
Okay, so you're kind of just looking into your eyes. The white part of your iris here, there's nothing really going on there. It just looks like your iris. But then you start to focus deeper into the blackness of your eyes. And you start to notice swirling stars and gaseous sort of vapors going on behind there. And then you start to notice that the silhouette of that creature again in your eyes.
I'm gonna cast message, and I'll point my finger, because I have to, toward the creature. I don't know if this will work, but I'll point my finger towards my eyes or where I see the creature, and I will say, I'll just ask it, what, okay, how many, do I have any certain amount of words? No, that's sending. I think I can just, as long as I'm pointing, it lasts for 6 seconds actually. So
Right,
whatever I can say in 6 seconds, I'll say.
Hang on, I'm gonna time you on this because I think it'd be funny.
Okay, just tell me when to go.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
What are you? What are you doing here? I'm assuming I'm done. I didn't say that. It's longer than I thought. Shit.
Yeah, so
well, that's all I said.
So basically, it's like, what are you? What are you doing here? Am I done?
Is that
right.
all I could say?
Yeah, that was basically what you said, and then you kind of stopped. All right, so you kind of wait a moment as just to see if it actually works, and then you hear the whispering sort of like refocus again, and it kind of goes into Minos. Where is he?
Oh god.
And then
I'm just gonna back away.
All right, as you're backing away, you slowly hear another thing from the creature before it turns back into white noise. Bring us the key. And as you back away, you sort of, yeah, it's the whispers kind of like fade into white noise and then kind of just stop.
Oh no. I'm just gonna sit down and put my hand through my hair. I'll be like, oh Jesus Christ.
Your mother kind of walks back and just walks back in, and she kind of looks at you. Well, I didn't see anything in the mirror there. Also, she's backwards. I just realized. Uh, you said you saw a horned creature standing in the mirror there.
Yeah, I think I have a better idea of what's happening now.
You're not in any kind of trouble, are you?
I may be.
And
Um,
she kind of like looks over at the tea. It appears to be done, and she grabs a cup of it and she hands it to you. What happened, dear?
Mother, have you ever heard of Minos?
And she kind of like thinks to herself. Well, I heard a few legends. He was one of the first people to establish a kingdom in the Land of Kings. And from what I can tell, he was a tyrant with magical power on par with the Mage Lord. Other than that,
Yes.
other than that, it's just a lot of hearsay.
Okay. Well, I have a bit of a story to tell you about what I've been up to for the past couple of, well, just like a week, honestly.
I'd say you were on that voyage for like little over a month.
A month, the past month. Well, okay. Um, so I was out doing my own thing, the thing that I wanted to do. Just want to be, start doing adulting things. And I was out getting a job, and I took this job with the rich man Barrett, right? And I joined this pirate crew, and we went out on an expedition to find this magical artifact that was supposedly inside of one of the towers in the Flare Sea.
Those towers that keep disappearing randomly.
Yeah, but supposedly they've all materialized, and they're standing there. They're still they've stopped.
Oh,
Uh,
that's interesting.
and a friend of mine, me and a friend of mine that I met through this job, we infiltrated one of these towers, and we've discovered this artifact, and it apparently was labeled as the almost like it was the soul of King Minos, and we decided, him and I, and he's here with me on the island. And
What
I'm
is
gonna
your
sit.
friend's? What's your friend's name?
Well, he goes by the Midnight Avenger, but I don't really know his name. But I don't
Hmm.
ask. He doesn't pry into my personal life. I've only known him for a month or two, a month and a week.
And you
We've
really
been at
think you
sea
can?
for a
And
week.
you really think you can trust him, without knowing his name or anything about him?
As right now, judging by the decisions that we made together in that tower, I think I may not trust him as, with personal information and with things in my life, but I do trust that he is, based on what he did on my side for this current problem that is happening to us.
Hmm.
I think he's a trustworthy man, but I'm not completely sold on whether or not I could be trustworthy, but he seems the type to trust, and if he isn't, I can take care of it.
Hmm. Well,
But
I trust you to make the right decision in the end. And then she kind of goes back over to the tea thing to make herself some. So how long do you plan to
so
stay here?
only a day or two. I fear that if I stay too long, I may endanger everyone here, and I can't do that. But I came. I apologize for this sounding morbid, but I came here to see you just in case this may be the last time
And
that I
she's just kind
see
of like
you.
uh she just kind of frowns at that. It's like, Oh, well, if it's that dangerous, dear, why don't you just stay here where we can protect you?
Uh, this is some ethereal shit. Let me get on to the. Let me get back to my story before we make any decisions like that. But the artifact that me and my friend discovered there was the soul of King Minos, and we decided to banish it. I banished it to the pocket dimension. Um so it's there. And it's supposedly only accessible through my own magic, which I am incapable of casting such a spell. I was able to do it because we discovered some ancient tomes, and I used the knowledge that has since left me. I
Hmm.
can't do it again, and it's stuck there. But I
But...
think I'm starting to understand what's going on with
Alright.
these mirrors. I
She looks over
just
to the
now
silver
looked
mirror.
in the mirror in your room, and I heard the same creature, and I saw it in my eye. I know this sounds insane, Mom, but like,
She's kind of going closer to kind of look into the mirror and then look at you. Sweetie, are you
it's,
okay?
I don't think so, but I'm not insane. I promise you.
Go ahead and
You
roll a
have to believe
go
me.
ahead and roll a persuasion check on that one.
Alrighty. 19. Okay, okay.
Okay, she believes you, but she still has like that mother's worry in her eyes.
I think it's coming after me. I think so. We were. This is crazy. We were something to do with the Flayer Sea, and something to do with some psychic world where everyone's soul is asleep, and we were able to go there in our dreams, and it almost feels like a mirror of this world. And I'm starting to think that it's following me through these mirrors. Like it's on the other side, and I don't know if it can get to me or not, but it is not
All right,
sitting well with me.
at the mention of another world where everyone is asleep, that actually like piques your mother's interest. But she kind of like reserves a comment on that, choosing to listen to you try to explain it.
We're connected to the sky through these ethereal like cords, and it seems like if your cord is slit, then you die in the real world. I'm not sure what kind of realm this is, but we've been there several times, me and Midnight. Um, and this other guy, Rasvolfi, but he's actually a solid dude, but he's not with us
Russ Wolfie,
anymore.
where is he?
Do I know if I can't remember if I knew if he was dead or not?
Well,
I don't think I
basically,
know.
as you, the last thing you remember from the
Like
Great
he's
Escape is Raswolfi trying to capture you along with Barrett's privateers, and then you telling him the thing is where it is, the magical
yeah.
artifact is where it is, and then him going like, okay, and then he shot one of the privateers in the leg to try and help you guys escape.
Yeah, and I like flew back there and I was like, I can make you fly and you can come with us. And he's like, no, I'm staying behind. So I feel like Volpe's just gonna assume he got killed.
Okay.
Um, he's the deal went south. It was chaos. Me and Midnight escaped, and he didn't make it.
Hmm.
I offered my hand to him for him to come along, but he valiantly stayed behind to allow our escape. So, I respect the man.
Hmm.
But, anyways, Reswolfie, Midnight, and I, we were in this realm at least 2 times, and we were dealing with this, like this reaper almost, like a taker of souls, if you will. And
A
in
reaper.
battle, we slew him, and A lot of other things happened, but there was this thing that is bothering me. We fought this creature, and it was like a man, but he was all void. It was just like a shadow of a man, and and in that realm, my arm had the same shadow. I don't know what affliction this is, but my arm was darkened by something. And just now, I thought I had rid of it, but just now, after seeing this horned creature in the mirror, I saw a bit of this goop on my face, but it's not there anymore. Not even in the mirror world. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I looked everywhere on my skin. It's not there. I don't know if I'm seeing things. I don't know if it's tricking me with psychic powers because but it's
Alright.
following me.
Alright,
I,
so
I
as you're sort of rambling on, your mother just kind of like gets a very pensive stare about her, and then as you're sort of going, she kind of like dips her hand into your tea, and then very gently just inscribes something. You can't see what she's writing onto your neck. Um, and then as she's doing that, she's whispering, and there's a faint amount of magic coming off of her finger. All right. Well, I can't sense anything cursing you currently, but this should at least give you some protection.
Thanks, mother.
Okay, okay.
I
You go
I
ahead.
will.
You go ahead and take a rest here. Unfortunately, Revere is in your old room, so you can't sleep here. You'll have to take in one of the penny seats, and
Well,
along
that's
with your
fine.
friend.
Yeah, that's okay. Thanks
Okay.
for the help. I'm probably gonna stay here maybe one more day, but I don't. I think I need to. I think Midnight and I know the most about this. I think we need to go to another tower or do something. I don't know. We might have to investigate. And I need to leave because I don't know if I can fix this problem by just waiting it out. And I do not only do we have the wrath of Barrettsmen who we worked for, and they
Barrett, and
know
she just
who
kind
I
of like,
am.
she just kind of widens her eyes and kind of scowling at you. You were working.
Yeah.
You were working with Barrett. You were
Okay.
working with Lord Barrett.
I was, yes. But he's an evil man, and I don't know if that's news that everyone knows or not, but he's a bad guy. Bad guy. And
Oh,
he
I
wanted this
suppose.
artifact. He wanted this soul of King Minos, and we were like, "Nah, bro." And we banished it. So my point being, he has no way to track me to you because we have no surname. Uh he knows my face, he knows my name. I signed paperwork.
Hmm.
I can't I don't want to lead them here. And then there's also the case of this creature following me around through the mirrors, and the black goo. And I think I need to go remedy this. I need to go find some fucking cleric or something to cleanse me of this shit, or like I need to break this curse or kill this thing. And mom, I am actually quite capable when it comes to killing things, I have discovered. Um,
Well, that I can believe. And then she just kind of like pats you down lovingly on the shoulder. It's like,
I learned it from the best, I guess, you know. But we've had talks about the mage school that I went to, and I think that it was helpful.
of course.
I wasn't the biggest fan of leaving you behind, but I think it did me good, and I'm I think it's my talent for this thing is kind of showing, and it's kind of fun.
Okay.
It's fun, but I think I might be able to deal with this. I'm going to come with Midnight. He's a skilled warrior as well, uh, and we're gonna figure this out. I
Well,
think I think if Midnight is willing, sure he has personal stake in it because he's also wanted by Barrett, but he's like he's really stealthy. I'm sure he could evade them his whole life and not have to bat an eye.
hmm.
But he's staying with me,
Okay.
and
Well, as
he's
long as long as you're confident about this, I have faith in you. Okay?
Thanks.
Alright. I've got to go check on something on the stage here to see what the progress is with the carpenters. Go ahead and see Riviere, okay? She missed you.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta. I don't want to regret not seeing her, so I will see her.
Alright, and your mother kind of like kisses you on the forehead and then just walks out without another word.
Okay, I'm gonna head into my old room and
Alright, so
visit.
you walk into past the curtain here. You notice that your mother has a few more racks of like costumes and stuff like that. You can actually surmise that some of these costumes are for other performers as well. They're just stored here in the bedroom. And then over here you see your mother's bedroom with a very ornate and comfy looking bed. That has what looks like a shepherd in a yellow cloak guiding a sheep in a field as like a painting that hangs above it. And then over here in this door here is actually where your bedroom was when you were living here, now repurposed for Reviere's bedroom.
I'll head.
Alright. So you open the door and there's this tiny little tiefling just sort of sitting there playing with a few like handmade wooden toys, and she kind of looks over at you and says "Pika," and then she kind of just walks over to your ankles and just goes "Pika, Pika," and then she just goes to like hug you.
Oh my god! Thank you, son.
You're welcome.
Oh, I miss you, sis.
And then she's just kind of like hugging you as well. It's like, what are you doing back?
Oh, I'm just here to see Mom and you and just visit. I'm going back to work here soon, but I came back to say hi because I love my family and I want to, have a visit.
Alright, and she just kind of like peeks around to see if anyone else is behind you. Come in, come in. And then she kind of like pulls you in by the tuft by your finger. And then she's, look what I've been practicing. And then she kind of pulls the wolfskin rug, and you see what looks to be a circle in chalk inscribed onto the floor there. There's like, I've been practicing just like you. And she kind of just like presses her hands down, and you see, similarly to your yellow lightning, a sort of red, smoky kind of magic ebb from her fingers, and the wood just sort of like creaks and twists a little bit, and a small wooden duck forms on the deck. It's like, look, look, look!
Whoa.
That's
awesome.
I'm magic just like you.
I'll pick her up and I'll say, I'm so glad, that's so cool. Yeah.
And then she's you can tell she's like really excited, and she wants to like hear more about your stores and stuff like that. And for the sake of clemency, you can say you regale whatever you want to share with her.
I'll tell her about the fun parts of what I've done and just like going around and seeing cool places and like meeting weird people, and that's about it.
Okay. Do you tell them about any of the privateers at all?
No.
Okay. And then she's like, wow, that's amazing. And then you can actually notice on the just below her hairline, she's starting to get like horns growing in from her body.
Awesome. Let's go.
You're gonna go where?
I'm gonna go back outside the cabaret because there's still some of the island that I haven't checked out.
All right. Are you gonna take Riviere with you?
Sure.
Okay. So, with your little sister in tow, just kind of like sitting on your shoulder, because she's actually very light for being a 3-year-old. You kind of walk back. Hang on, for this. Do you just go straight back onto the atoll?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this back on here. Alright, so you walk back onto the atoll. Oh, there was one more thing I forgot to mention in your mother's bedroom, there was a plaque that reads "The Brotherhood of the Waves" just off to the side of the bed. It looks like they took it down from its original resting place and just kind of put it there on storage.
Shit. Initiative.
Yeah, go ahead and just make a note for that. That's my fault. I didn't mention it while
Okay,
you were in
okay.
there.
Gotcha. Brotherhood. Name drop.
Name drop.
Cool.
Okay, so now you're out in the place with Reveri, and she's kind of just like looking around at like the flying birds and the clouds and stuff like that, and you can basically go wherever else with her.
I'll take her to the lighthouse, probably.
Okay, so you walk across the which side of the dock do you walk?
We'll go this way. Oh, you can't see the way I'm dragging it, can you? But like this way.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going off to the right side or north side. All right.
Yeah.
So walking across there, as you're getting closer to the entrance to the place here, you see a couple more deckhands just sort of fishing and stuff like that in the central, I guess, pond area of the atoll. And do you kind of look down into it?
Sure.
Alright, so you look down into it and you see there's quite the algae growth in the center of it, with a lot of like fish just sort of like darting in and out of it, and you can also see a few like prawns and crustaceans kind of like coming out through the sand and stuff. This is kind of the central part of where the atoll gets most of its food.
Nice.
Alright.
So... No, I'm not gonna ask. I was gonna... Actually, I might as well now. How to... I guess they could just not catch all the fish, and the fish will repopulate themselves. Because, like, it's landlocked. But I guess that's how ponds work. Never mind, I'm dumb.
It's okay.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. How deep do you reckon it is? Like,
Vulpe has not really swam in here. As a kid, you kind of thought it was like weird and gross with all the algae, so you didn't really like go down into it. And there's not really many other dock workers who just want to swim in an entanglement of seaweed and algae.
That's true, that's true.
So as of right now, you're unsure how deep it is.
I see.
And also across the way, you notice another dock worker just dumping a barrel full of vegetable trimmings into it as well to kind of like give the fish extra nutrients and stuff.
Nice.
Alright, so wanted to look at anything else closer, or do you just want to go straight into the lighthouse?
I think I'll just beeline it to the lighthouse.
Alright, so you get into the lighthouse, and the lower section of it is actually just kind of a mass storage of stuff, mostly for supplies and helping, like freshly sawn lumber and stuff like that that was imported onto the atoll, as well as like a few extra tool belts and stuff like that, some fishing equipment, mainly just stuff to kind of keep the general maintenance of everything going. You also see a couple of locked chests. You can surmise where Dace still keeps his earnings from doing trade with the rest of the ships. And then going up the stairs there, you come to the top of it with Revere, and you see a dock worker standing here, just sort of like stoking a large fire with like whale oil and some like, you know, burning logs that is kind of like projecting light onto a series of mirrors that sort of bend outward to shine the light. It's kind of raised on a platform, so the light's not shining directly at you. You're kind of just, it's probably the same as the stage, about a 5 feet thing up. And then over in the corner here, just kind of with a pair of binoculars, a set of flags, and a book here that you assume is the dock charter of like all the ships coming and going through the port. And he kind of looks over and she was like, "Oh, midnight." Not midnight. Oh, Vulpe.
What's up, old man? How's it going?
Oh, doing well, doing well. I saw you on the dock there with your friend. Where did he run off to?
Shit, I was kind of hoping to find him here, or I actually have no idea.
Well, as long as he signed in with the dock worker down there, I don't really... As long as you don't cause trouble.
Oh, he won't.
And then he kind of looks over at Revere. "Hello, little one." And then Revere just kind of like buries her head into one of your horns, just kind of like being awkward around him. And then Revere just kind of also whispers to you, "Grumpy."
I'm gonna. We're at the top, right? Is
Yeah,
nothing
you're at
else?
the only place taller is the part where the mirrors are that kind of shine light out.
All right. I'm gonna do something a bit unorthodox. Wait, is there like a railing?
There is a railing, yes.
All right.
And kind of there's also a canopy here that shields basically everywhere where this thing isn't, because like obviously the smoke needs to go out as well. But you're in shade right now.
I'll say, "Hey, Revere." I'll say, "Do you want to fly?"
And she just kind of like, kind of her eyes widen with that childlike sparkle, and she points to a seagull that's just kind of like flying by, tracking it with her finger as she's just sort of staring at you.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to fly yourself, or do you want me to carry you and we can fly?
And she just her eyes widen apart. Fly, 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 fly. She's really
All right.
excited.
I'm gonna cast fly on myself, and then I'm gonna cast fly on her,
Okay.
and then I'm just gonna stand up on the railing, and I say, "Just will yourself to move, and I'll catch you
Okay.
if you stumble," kind of
All right.
thing.
Then, as you're saying this, Daze kind of looks over, is like, "What are you two?" And then you toss her over the railing.
No, I'm gonna go first just in case, so I can catch her. So I have a.
Okay, and then
I'm
you.
gonna jump up on the railing, and I'll grab her, like help her up, and then I'm gonna like just do a lateral step, and then just be hovering.
All right, so you're all right. So then, as you do this, Daze just kind of like, he's not stunned by it, but he's a little surprised that you can fly. And then like Revere is just kind of like bouncing up and down. It looks like that childlike excitement, and she kind of like scrambles over to the top of the railing.
So the way that I'll do this is I'll hold her hand, and then I will just say like, just step off, and because she should be able to fly, realistically, but just in case she can't, I will like have a grip on her. Kind of
Okay.
thing.
I was like, "Hey, wait a minute," and then and then she just you kind of edge a little bit back, and then she kind of like there's a little bit of dead drop when she first gets over the railing, but you're able to just like pull her back up, and she's now just floating there over the ocean, kind of like legs and arms kicking as if she's in a wade pool. Oh, and she's like sweetly laughing the entire time, and then Dace just kind of like runs over, is like, "Ugh."
I'll smile, and I'll just say, just don't let go of my hand, and then I'll just kind of like lean a bit and take her and see if we can fly around for a little bit.
So Aaron Dace just kind of like, make sure she doesn't fall, and then he walks back over to the charter, and I presume you two just start flying around, looking at each ship and everything, and around the atoll.
Yeah. Just for maybe, let's look at how long this lasts. I think it's 10 minutes. Yeah, up to 10 minutes. So I'll just say like, and until my internal clock is like, it's been about 8 minutes, and then we'll go down.
All right. So you guys kind of fly around, and you see there's quite a few, like over a dozen ships, just kind of circling around the atoll, waiting for their chance to go into port. You can see the process is basically, Dace just sort of like signals to a ship using one of the mirrors, and then he just kind of like flags them down with a series of coded messages, and the ships respond in turn with their own flags. And then you see ships of all shapes and sizes. One particular ship is larger than the others, called the Jones. And just kind of like flying past it, you take note of that one being the largest ship out there. Let's see here. Looking at my notes. 1 second.
So actually, let's just say that I flew around with Rivera for like 5 minutes, and then when we landed, we'll land over by the cabaret, and I'll say, go find Mom, and then I'm just gonna shoot up, and I'm just gonna fly as high as I can, and just kind of get reconnaissance, and maybe see if I can't spot one of those towers. But after you finish your explanation of all of the ships and things that you would think necessary for me to see just flying around with her.
Alright, so yeah, the largest ship, which you know is a galleon named the Jones, is kind of like not. It's in the queue to dock, but it's like probably a good few ships out there. You also notice a small ship that is comparable to a sloop with a tadpoler just sort of painted onto the side of it. And then you also see uniquely among this a brigantine-sized ship called the Emerald Song, and this one is very clearly an orc ship.
Nice.
And
these are all just like the ones docked at port and or whatever. They're like
those are the most unique ships in the lineup.
Oh,
the rest
okay.
are basically
so there's a couple.
the rest are basically generic style fishing trawlers, trade ships, nothing really of note.
Gotcha.
That sort of thing. And then,
Okay.
alright, so you go ahead and sit Revere, I want to say Revere for some reason, Revere down onto the stage. You say, go find Mama, and then she just kind of like, she's still kind of floating because there's leftover stuff from the spell, and she's just kind of like, she's hovering just straight up and down into the thing, and like one of the carpenters goes like, what the fuck? And then you fly straight up into the air. You fly straight up into the air as fast and as quickly as you can. Do you have any sort of like spyglass thing in your inventory or no?
Shit. I don't think so.
Okay.
I guess I'll roll perception.
Yeah, go ahead and just roll perception as you just try to squint through the sea fog.
Give me the natural 20! Okay, that's pretty alright. Perception? 16.
So with a 16, you can actually just very faintly see not only a couple of other ships on the horizon, but you also see what you can presume is the silhouette of a few of the ivory towers. And based on the mental map burned into your brain, you can kind of guess is like, yeah, that's about where they are.
Oh shit, I forgot I knew that.
Yep. I did send you the map projection.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Okay.
I was looking for it earlier, but like literally like 20 minutes ago. But, like...
Alright, I'm gonna also grant you another perception check as you notice the familiar shape of another ship just very distantly on the horizon.
No! 16 again.
16, okay. You're not 100% sure, but this thing looks like the Queen's Song, just very distantly on the horizon. And basically, from where you are and from where it is, you can't tell if it's which direction it's facing. You can just see the very faint outline or silhouette of the ship itself.
Shit. How would I know enough about sailing speeds to know like how long I'd have before they? Well, I don't even know if they know that we're here, but they're close, so I'd assume so. So we should probably leave soon, but I don't know how soon.
Okay.
Would I know how soon?
Okay, let's see here. We'll say this is a survival roll, just based on tracking.
Okay.
So go ahead and roll survival for this.
Survival. 4.
Yeah, you say you probably got about 2 months.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, you got plenty.
I have 14 intelligence, and I would at least.
Okay. For the sake of being fair, I'll give you an investigation check to guesstimate.
Oh, man, like 2 months. You could have at least said 2 weeks. 16 plus investigation. I'm assuming I have nothing in it. I have 18. Heyo.
Alright, so with an 18, you'd say you got about 4 days. Assuming they are coming to the atoll.
Yeah.
If they're...
I feel like I'd probably want to sit out before then. So just like... I don't know. Maybe set them off course? If they know where we are.
that is a big if, though.
Yeah, I'm flying back to the lighthouse before my spell runs out.
One second. So as you sort of touch down, Dance just sort of looks at you as you see something up there?
Oh, I was checking out the ships. Seems like you got some customers on the way, you know?
Yeah, we put out some advertisements on the mainland. Gonna try and give Loretta a nice, palatable performance here.
I'd love to see it, but I think I've gotta leave
Well,
pretty soon for the next couple of days.
it's in 3 days, so if you can stick around that long, that'd be nice. I'm sure she would appreciate it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Then he just kind of like gives you one more like visual inspection. Is like, y'all look thin.
Yeah, I'll have some supper here in a bit. But I'm gonna step up onto like and like look at the mirrors in the lighthouse. Because you mentioned there were mirrors.
All right, so you look at the mirrors in the lighthouse, and they're organized in such a way to where not only is there a set catching the light from the fire, but it's also catching the light from the sun. So it's acting as a thing where it's like the dock worker there can just shift the mirrors and shine light out towards ships so that they can see where the atoll is. So it's a very manual type of lighthouse.
Can I see myself in these mirrors?
Yes, you can if you just kind of like step into it a little bit, and the dock worker just goes like, "The hell are you doing?"
Just give me a second.
And then
And
Dace
I'll
kind of
look
looks
in.
back.
Just gonna focus on that whispering, and I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror.
All right, so you focus on it, and the whispering is just mainly just it's a rehashing of what you heard back on the straight razor. The thing is still kind of there faintly in the twinkle of your eye.
Okay. I'll step down, and I'll be like, "All right, see you, fellas," and I'll just take the stairs because
Right.
my spell is gone.
Dace just kind of like, ugh. And then Doc was just kind of like, "Who the hell was that?" It's like, "Don't worry about it." Okay, so I'm feeling like we can probably. Do you feel like you got a good
So
sense
yeah.
of the place?
So what I'm thinking is, like, I think we can end it here because I think it'd be fun if, because literally what I was about to do next was I was gonna suggest that Midnight and I scope out some of the ships here and see if we can't bribe our way on one of them to leave. But then it's like, oh, we should. If I roughly have 4 days and the performance is in 3, and I guess I could stay that long, and then we could see Mum's performance. But I think that would be a great introduction for Finn to my mom. So I think Finn should be there. So I think we're probably good.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna go ahead and write a few things down. And okay, well, glad we did this. It was a nice little relaxing sort of like
That's fun.
role play
It was
session.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm happy you put so much effort into making the map. It was really cool.
I'm gonna go ahead and end recording here.